Okay, I can nail it. I'm Caroline, and you're listening to Talk to the podcast where we gossip.
I don't know how you don't know it already.
I don't know.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Madeline.
And I'm Caroline, and you're listening to the podcast. Oh, fuck.
She tried to go off. Fuck. Let's take it from the top.
Okay.
Because I was like, hi, I'm Madeline.
Madeline.
Okay. Hi, I'm Madeline.
And I'm Caroline, and you're listening to Talkitecture, the podcast where we gossip as students.
And spill the tea on all things architecture. This is our game night.
Game night!
Yay! We haven't done a game night in kind of a long time.
It's been like 3 or 2 episodes, right?
It's hard to come up with ideas for game night.
It is hard.
They end up always being my favorites, though, I feel like.
Yeah. But
coming up for the idea is tough. So
we need
We
recommendations.
need ideas, honestly.
Email us.
Email us. I've kind of like picked up our game on the Instagram and TikTok side of things. Yeah. Please go follow those. They're fun. Yeah.
DM us ideas.
DM us. So this episode, we were inspired by Emma Chamberlain. Yeah. And we're going to do a pet peeves episode. Architecture pet peeves, if you will.
Related to architecture, of course.
Yeah. But let's talk about our week so far.
Yeah.
A little bit. What have we done?
So we had a pinup today.
Yeah.
And we were pinning up our precedent analysis, which if you don't know what a precedent analysis is, we basically all got to pick a building. Sometimes it gets assigned to you and you analyze it and you redraw it and do diagrams to show like circulation.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And that's what we pinned up today and presented.
Yeah. It was literally all we had to do was, it was a lot of work, but we didn't have to come up with anything new, basically. At least I didn't.
Yeah, no,
you kind of did.
My professor had us make a tweak to the building because like these are existing buildings that you're just studying. So like our whole studio this semester is about housing. So we're going to be designing housing. So all of the precedents were housing buildings so that we can like learn from them, look at the mistakes that were made. That vibe.
All we just had to pin up like the plans and sections of that, some axons, stuff like that. It was really chill, but we are so like weirdly.
I was really stressed, but that was because I just
I wasn't
had no
stressed
time to work on it.
Yeah, I think you going away for the weekend made you stressed.
Every time for me, the moral of the story is like I was going away that weekend.
Well, it's our second week of school, and we've had 2 weekends here, and both weekends you've gone far away,
and it's been so brutal.
And I know you're not doing work on those weekends.
I tried, and it was just.
I mean, you're going on like vacation, so it's fun for you.
Yeah, it's fun.
It ended up being fine because the pinup today was so like comically casual.
Yeah,
you know,
it was so casual. Immediately calm once I like started watching people.
Honestly, even after I pinned up, I was like, oh my god.
Architecture was like a drug. Like I get this like crazy anxiety and stress for like a week and a half straight, and then it's like this release. It's like
we were like walking on air after we pinned up. We like floated to each other. We were like, oh, we're pinned up, we're done, yay! Now we can be happy and normal.
I'm in like a normal mood. Like I'm not like sitting at my desk spiraling. Like that's what I was doing the past.
Yeah. You need to make your desk cozy somehow.
I cannot stand my desk right now. I don't want to be there.
You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking like last year. Okay. This year we went in being like, we need less stuff.
Yeah.
But like reflect on your desk last year. Covered in stuff. You had shelves, the cutting mat. Now there's just like a lamp and a jar. And
it's so depressing.
I think you need to bring back the stuff.
No.
Maybe
I think I'm
gonna
raise the desk. You can my desk is like normal height desk. Madeline's is a raised desk because on the end they raise them. But I think you can put a work order in to get it raised.
You can. You should.
And I think I'm gonna do it because it's just like, first of all, my knees hit the top of my desk. Like it's a really short desk. Like I don't really fit in it anyway, and it's uncomfortable to sit there.
Yeah.
So I feel like having a raised desk would just be like more comfortable, and then I'm gonna get a monitor. And I think that'll be it. I still want to be minimalist.
Yeah.
But that
would
be good.
This weekend, I did it, and I got a monitor. I got a monitor, a keyboard, and a mouse. And this is like a hot topic, but I don't use a mouse when I work. So me getting a mouse is kind of a big deal for me.
It's kind of crazy because you got the ergonomic mouse too.
Yeah.
So it's not like
this
horizontal.
Isn't your average
it's
mouse.
Vertical, and you hold it like a coffee cup.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah. But I set it up this weekend, and I'm like, there's definitely some like getting used to it, mostly because I'm used to when I sit down at my desk, like looking down at the computer.
Yeah.
Just like the difference of looking up now is the weirdest.
It's a lot.
But it's really cool. I'm excited to do Rhino work on it.
Yeah. I feel way more productive when I have a desktop computer for some reason. Like, in undergrad, I would just go to this one computer lab where it was like in the corner of the top floor of our library, and it was just filled with Macs, and I would just go up there to like do like the most dumb assignments because it was so like it felt so productive.
Yeah. It's weird because even when I'm not using it, just having it at my desk the 2 days that it's been there, I'm like, I feel like this is real.
Yeah.
You have to get it.
I need to get one.
And you should raise your desk.
Yeah.
So this week, that's all we've done. It's only been 2 days this week.
Yep. Yeah.
And we've already had a pin up.
Yeah. Everyone that I tell that we have a pin up, they're like, this early? And I'm like, yeah, they're working us. Like, usually a precedent analysis would be at least a week longer.
Yeah.
Like, maybe one more class.
I think that's just like, they're really picking up the pace.
Yeah.
And this is, like, I'm not used to it.
Yeah.
No one's used to it, but it's just, know, it is what it is. I guess without further ado,
we should get into it.
Let's get into it. Okay, why don't you start?
All right. The very first one on the list, pet peeves, is line weights, which if you don't know what architecture is, never been to architecture school, probably doesn't make a lot of sense.
And you probably don't know like what a line weight is.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Every single like piece of text and line on a computer or printed like has a weight to it. Like, and when I say weight, I mean like thickness, right? That's the way to explain it.
Yep.
Yeah. So you can customize this and it means different things. So like when you cut a section through a building, that's your thickest line weight on the paper, because that is where you're actually cutting into the building. Mm-hmm. That's an example.
That's a good way of
and or there's like a plan is a more, I guess, tangible one for if you don't know architecture. If you cut a plan through a building and you're looking at it, like the thickest line is where that cut happens.
Yeah, exactly. There's like a hierarchy of line weights.
Yeah.
The further away you go, the lighter the line gets, I guess. The further you are from the cut line, the lighter the line gets. It sounds simple, but it actually gets really complex once you're doing it. And I see how it starts to be like, I don't know, you know?
I spend most of my time in my drawings adjusting line weights and making sure everything is in the correct line weight. Yeah. And like when we mean cutting, we mean like in these drawings, like you've probably seen a floor plan before, like that's imagining cutting through the wall. Mm-hmm. So it's like, what does that imaginary like sheet of paper literally cut through? And then everything else is like slowly getting a little thinner, and then it's all grayscale. So then it slowly gets lighter gray.
Yeah.
And
so why is this a pet peeve for you? Because
it just like makes or breaks a drawing. Like, it really makes a drawing. Like, I can't emphasize it enough. It like, really does. If you look at a drawing and you're like, this is one of the most amazing drawings I've ever seen, I guarantee the line weights are perfect. They're thought through. Everything is like meticulously done. And then if you look at a drawing, you're like, I can't figure out why this looks like shit. It's because the line weights are wrong. Yeah. And they don't look good.
Yeah.
That's it.
Exactly. All right.
Yeah.
The next on the list I put down is mishmash. Mismatched pins. Because, okay, first of all,
I get this now. I didn't understand.
When we're all pinned up and everyone is using a different pin, some people use blue pins, some people use long like sewing pins, some people use thumbtacks.
Yeah.
I hate when there's mismatch pins. And then sometimes I had to do this once when I ran out of pins. Within my board, I used like a metal pin and a clear push. Like, no. And there's not really much more to say on that, but just like, I wish that the professors would be like, you can only use one type of pin.
Well, it's like one of those things. I feel like line weights and like in this topic are like kind of like this secret like head nod between like good architects,
right?
Like if you have a good pinup, like all your pages are completely straight, they're spaced perfectly, all the pins look nice, everything is laid out well, the line weights are good. It's like, it doesn't matter if your idea is shit, like you have respect in the room because
it's really the
you
presentation,
know how to present your work and your ideas, because
Yeah.
the drawings and the presentation are everything. Like if you can't do
everything.
that, if you do that poorly and you have a great idea, no one cares.
Because they'll be too busy looking at what's wrong with how you physically pinned it up. You know?
And how you physically drew it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, the next one is, we've talked about this, I feel like, before on the pod.
I can't remember what episode.
Hatch City.
Yeah.
Hatches. Like, I kind of wish that hatches just weren't allowed, honestly.
Yeah.
But, like, when they're done right, they're good.
They can help.
They're good.
Yeah.
But they can be done so wrong so easily. And we've seen a few cases where there's a 50,000 hatches going on at once. And it's like,
hatches should be
how did
used
this happen?
diagrammatically. Unless, you can hatch. Okay, let's explain what a hatch is,
please.
too. A hatch is just, like, coloring in, basically. Like if the fill.
Yeah. Pretend I draw a box. If I put gray inside the box, the gray is the hatch.
Yeah.
And you can make that fill a solid color. You can make it stripes. You can make it crisscross. Endless
There's all sorts of ones. And then there's some that, like, don't necessarily correlate to anything. They're just, like, patterns. And then there's some that are, like, symbols for materials. So there's, like, a concrete hatch, which if you put that somewhere, it symbolizes this is, like, a concrete wall that you're cutting through.
Or like ground.
Yeah.
Like
soil.
earth. Yeah.
Things like that. But basically use it sparingly. Like, don't, like, put it everywhere.
Honestly, I think if you're using the ones that mean, like, this means concrete, this means soil, those are reserved for, like, landscape architects when they draw details, or, like, contractors. When we're drawing plans, like, we know what the soil looks like. We don't need the soil hatch in there.
We're not designing on the scale of the soil, so we don't need to know anything about the soil at the moment.
Exactly.
And also,
I actually don't want to know.
Yeah. The only time, like, if you're drawing, like, a detail, and a detail is, like, a construction assembly kind of thing. So, like, you zoom in really close and you're looking at, like, okay, this concrete slab is the floor meets this concrete slab is the wall with, like, wood flooring, right?
Yeah.
Then you can use the symbols because that's supposed to be, like, very directly tied to materials. But when you're in, like, the conceptual plans and sections, like, there's just no need to get people thinking about materials or, like, anything like that. You want to get them thinking about spatial ideas.
That's precisely. Precisely. It's
spitting.
Like sometimes it's comical when we talk about hatches, because it's like sometimes it's like duh, but also like there's a science, and I think we've nailed the science.
It's like
we've
favorite
been taught
part of architecture. And there's a lot of restraint. There's a lot of restraint. But another pet peeve that this reminds me of is AutoCAD when it hatches. Because sometimes on AutoCAD you can hatch. So some people work in Illustrator and they have to literally draw out like what shape they want to fill in. But on AutoCAD, it, like, you touch an object and it will hatch it for you. And it has all these, like, patterns. But sometimes that damn hatch button, like, I swear to God, every single line is joined. There's no gaps because it won't join it if there's not a gap. If there's a gap, it won't do it.
Insufferable. I can't even that. I wrote down later hatch. I just wrote hatch in general because every time I go to hatch in my project, I save.
Yeah, sometimes
crucial because sometimes when I don't save, I, like, go right into hatching, and then that rainbow swirl pops up on my computer, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to restart everything. The swirl of death will be on here forever.
Yeah.
One time I did try to wait it out, and it was like 2 hours, and I was like, it's not happening. It's not happening. So please save.
Yeah, no, save before you use Hatch on AutoCAD. I've waited it out, and one time, like an hour later, it was fine. But then sometimes you just have to like completely restart the whole program, and you have to be patient with it. And sometimes you just need to like save, restart your whole program, and then like try hatching again. And sometimes it'll be happy with you, and then whatever. But that's like a whole adventure. Like it can add hours onto like the most dumb task.
It can actually add hours, and all you're trying to do is like
color
it in.
Coloring.
Okay, the next one is unnecessary dress codes, and this is like, I don't even know if this is a pet peeve. It just like makes me mad. I guess it's a pet peeve. It's like, okay, this reminds me of when we went to Chicago and we visited the firms and we walked in, everyone's wearing black.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's what I'm thinking.
Like literally why? You guys all have the same personality? What's going on? And then sometimes when we have pinups, like, this makes sense to me. Like some people wear black and it's like, yeah, of course you would wear black because that's what you think real architects do, because when we tour the firms, everyone's wearing black. Yeah. Like, can we not?
Like, it's kind of funny to think about, how did this originate? Like, I guess it's just kind of like, I think architects are trying to like remove themselves from their projects and be like blank slate and like no personality or person behind this scheme. Like,
that's
I'm just like blank and this is what I made, but not me.
Yeah.
But like, that's just always fake and false. Like we design from our personal experiences, even if we're not trying.
That's and if you're trying to be like a nobody next to your presentation, who's interested in that?
Yeah,
not me.
I don't care.
That's like
I want to see your personality match your project.
Yeah, it's like when we went to Studio Gang and everyone was wearing normal outfits. Yeah, I was like, this is why I love this place.
Yeah, it wasn't even like anyone was wearing anything that interesting. It was just like,
no, it wasn't like fashion.
Thank God you're in
like
jeans
a t-shirt,
and a t-shirt.
Right?
Like, I can tell that you have a personality.
Exactly.
Yeah, I just hate like plain clothing like that sometimes, because it's literally, there's no like stripe, there's no nothing, there's no like dimension to it. It's just like black jeans and a black t-shirt.
It's really like depressing.
Yeah,
I don't know,
because there's like some architects that will wear like very like architectural clothing that's very mute toned, but like that I respect and I get, because like the clothing is like tailored and hemmed in a way that it's like so interesting. It's like I can see adding a pattern or color to that would be like weird, but no, I'm talking like basic. Why?
It's different like when that's your style. Like if you just wear basics, fine. But when I see someone who I know you have kind of cool clothes in your closet and you show up wearing all black,
that's true.
What happened here?
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, what's the next one?
Let's see. It is color palette.
Why don't you take it away?
Okay.
We talked about this a lot today at our
There is something called a color palette. There's something called
as simple as that.
Color palette. There's something called color theory, and there's also something called Pinterest.
And
these
are not necessarily intuitive, too.
No. I mean, we were born with this God-given talent, but
yes.
You know, download Pinterest. I encourage you, and make an account,
please. And simply search color palettes.
Color palettes, please.
It's like I don't actually even want to get into this anymore. It's just like when you're designing something and you have a board, just pick a color palette, stick to it. It makes all the difference.
Yeah, just stick to one color palette. Yep, and just go with it. Yep, and that's all.
And that's all she wrote. Okay, I wrote this next one. Different desk heights in studio. This is when Caroline was saying that she wanted to like raise her desks. I don't know why this bothers me, but like when I walk into studio and I can see all the different desks heights, it's just like it gets to my OCD. Like I want all the desks to be the same height. I wish they were all tall.
I don't have this, but I can tell. Okay, so the reason why I don't want to raise my desk is I'm the middle desk this year, and I find that annoying. If the middle desk is raised, that bothers me.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm still on the fence about it. I can get it from that view, like a smaller, like within the row.
Yeah.
But like when I look at studio, I don't care that
This is like, if anyone's listening and they went to middle school with me, you know that when the desks weren't like touching each other when they were lined up, I had to go around the class and make sure all the desks were touching. This is that same thing, but I'm 22 now.
You know, that's okay. But
and that's okay. But it is what it is. That's just a little pet peeve.
Yeah, I don't share this pet peeve, but I can understand.
Yes. Okay, what's next?
Okay. Mine is big words, little ideas. Now this is definitely my number one architecture pet peeve, because as someone that's never studied architecture before entering architecture school, it's caused me a lot of pain and headache trying to figure out what the fuck architects are saying. And at the end of the day, every time I decode this jumble of like dictionary words that make no sense, it's the most simple basic concept. It's the most simple thing that they could have said in 3 words, but they used like
45 minutes.
Yeah. Like, just look at our handouts for our assignment sheets. I'm sorry. Why is my next assignment, which is just mapping, it's just research and mapping, a 3-page document, no spacing.
It's so
like,
funny because
one giant paragraph.
When we go to pull it, when I'm like, oh, what do we have to do for tomorrow? And like you go to like pull it up on your computer and we pull up the thing. And it's just like scrolling. And we get to literally the last page. And it's like 1 paragraph, this much text. And it's like, that's honestly all that could have been on this thing.
And like, it's a bullet point of the deliverables. And I'm like, okay, but like, I still have to decode the bullet points. Like, what are you like actually saying? And then I did read the assignment sheet for the last time, because all the professors, they are like in love with these assignment sheets, because they're like, they've spent so much time wording them, and they're very particular about their wording. And I read it and I was like, and I'm more confused now. And what are you saying? What the heck does that mean? I still don't know what you're saying.
Exactly.
Like, it just pisses me off, because I'm just is it that hard to word things easily? Like, I really don't think it is.
It's really not. It's really not.
But to architects, professors of architecture, I guess that is like the hardest thing for them to do.
I guess so. If I ever become a professor, I'm making it as easy as possible.
I'm going to speak as plainly as possible.
Because I also want my students, if I ever became a professor, to learn this at the simplest way.
I feel like some architects, they just like get this high off of like knowing more than their students. And I'm like, yeah, that is kind of the whole point.
Yeah.
That's like the whole dynamic. You're supposed to know more than me.
But you don't need to make it feel like that.
But like, just shut up and tell me.
Right? Okay, the next one is, I think this is more for the A school, although maybe not. A lack of a proper kitchen in the studio. Yeah. Because our studio is kind of nice. It has 2 like little kitchenettes almost. That's being so generous. It's just like a counter space, a sink, and a microwave.
It's the suggestion of a kitchen.
Yeah. And what I'm proposing is we just have, if you have a sink, there should be a way to dry off your hands. Give us some paper towels. If there's over 100 people sharing one microwave, 1 more microwave. So that's pretty much it. I just want paper towels and a microwave.
I really want to donate my microwave to our kitchen.
We have an extra
I have an extra microwave, because I had to buy one for my old apartment, and we already have one here. And I'm like, I could literally just bring this to school and plug it in. Who would know?
It's funny when like at lunchtime, like a line forms behind this microwave that doesn't even work. It's horrible.
Oh my God, that microwave is a pet peeve in and of itself. Like, how does it work? Like, I don't understand how it works. It only heats from the bottom. Like, what does that, like, have you noticed this?
Yes, I have. And it's like, when you go to press it, there's just like a row of numbers 1 through 10, and they don't mean like 1 minute, 2 minute. Like 3 means like 25 seconds or something dumb like that. It's kind of funny.
Those kitchens are weird. Yeah. I mean, would it kill them? Like, you already are putting toilet paper in the bathrooms and paper towels. Would it kill you to just plop some paper towels down in there?
Just like when you're walking by, just throw some paper towels by. Okay, the next one is different pin-up styles. I feel like we kind of already talked about this. Just like when everyone pins up, And this isn't like a fault to anyone. It's because everyone has their own style.
Yeah,
but
and
it's just
I
like
that
I do too.
Everyone has their own style.
Just sometimes when we pin up and like people start at different heights, like that's just a pet peeve. And it's like it's stupid. And I don't want it to change necessarily.
Yeah, it's just hard for like on the final pinup, they're more strict about it and everything looks uniform and then everything's in everyone's own style. But like for pinups like this, it's like it's a little hard to look around the room and everything's like janky and like
some are slightly crooked.
So different like and
people's papers are different sizes.
Yeah, the different size papers because nothing's like super standardized for some assignment like this. It's like it's a little
I mean, it's fine. It's just it's just annoying. Okay, clipping plane is the next one. Clipping plane and Rhino.
Yeah.
My personal biggest pet peeve of them all, because clipping plane sounds like it would be amazing. Like it makes the section and the plans for you. All you have to do is make 2D that little clipping plane and you're good to go. No. For some reason, the clipping plane actually makes it way more complicated and adds so many lines. So yes, it makes it simple. It's literally 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Yeah. It's like, cool, okay, now I know what that looks like. But now I have to like correct what it did. Clipping planes are in Rhino.
Yes.
Which is 3D modeling software. You can like do section plan cuts like we've been talking about.
Yeah.
But like with this clipping plane and it'll make this like drawing for you, but like it doesn't do it right.
No.
And we talked about this earlier today. It's just better to just draw your building out.
It really
is.
So
much better. Like learning how to properly do architecture drawings is like amazing. Like that's what you need to be learning. Not how to make the perfect little Rhino model. Like that's working, I think, the wrong way. We said like Madeline in college worked like Rhino to like Illustrator or Rhino to CAD.
Yeah. Now
secretly the best workflow, CAD to Rhino.
It's true, and it took me 4 years to learn that, but now I'm here and it's like it actually
just draw the building out precisely and perfectly, and then you just take those drawings into Rhino, extrude them, you have your building.
And magically when you do that, no clipping plane involved.
No clipping
There's
plane.
No need.
Rhino, just like sometimes I get lost in Rhino. It's like I'm just like floating around and it's a little
literally
much.
Get lost.
But like I literally get lost in Rhino. But like okay. So like I know I was taught how to draw really well these architectural drawings, which are the core of architecture. Like that is architecture, is those drawings. And like I'd rather put the emphasis on those drawings than on a physical model no one's ever going to see. Yeah. No one ever sees your Rhino model.
Yeah, no one sees the Rhino model. I don't know if you said this, but spend more time on your physical model. Is that what you just said?
No, but that's...
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, basically. Rhino is just so annoying. I'm kind of starting to learn, like, maybe don't use Rhino unless you literally need to.
That's what I've been doing. And I feel like I'm skating through, just like barely. I'm not touching it. Like when I have to do like an axon of like a whole building, I'll use it. But like I can't tell yet in my architecture career if I'm like just like ruining myself or if like maybe I've kind of like found a little secret.
I think
like,
it's
secret little
smart.
niche.
Because you kind of use it diagrammatically mostly. And I guess you do need to use it when you make axons and stuff like that.
I mean, I could, like, but the thing is, like, I know how to, when you learn how to draw this stuff, you don't need Rhino for anything. You can draw it all on your own. Yeah. The only reason I used it for this last project was I had to make an axon of my building, which was 15 buildings. Within the site context, which was a city. Right. And I was like, okay, I know how to draw all of this. Yeah. But it would be so much easier to just like build it really quickly in Rhino.
Exactly.
But yeah.
Especially when you go from CAD to Rhino and all you have to do is extrude the floors. Yeah. It takes actually 5 minutes to do that. Going the opposite way, it takes days.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like that's like a secret. Like I feel like
it actually is, I think.
I feel like I have this little secret, like, because everyone associates Rhino, like everyone talks about Rhino in architecture school, and I'm like, I like literally can't use Rhino.
Well, it's
like I'm so basic Rhino knowledge.
It's like the first thing that I was taught to use is Rhino.
Yeah.
And it's like when that's what you're taught to do first, you're like, oh, naturally that should be the first step of the process. And like working that is like hard, but once you do, it's so much better.
See, they didn't really teach us AutoCAD or Rhino. Like they gave us like 30-minute tutorials, and
that's true.
Like was freaked out by both of them, and I tried Rhino so hard in my summer class, and it like just didn't click with me.
Yeah. Well, it's whatever. Okay, next thing you wrote is hard pinup boards.
We have ancient, like prehistoric pinup boards in our building that are like from the 50s. I'm positive.
I think there's not even like, they're just concrete.
Yeah, they like you would think like you're putting a push pin in something, so maybe it should have a little give to it, be a little soft, so you could put it in there. Sometimes I feel like I need to bring a hammer to like hammer my fucking pins in.
When you look at our pins, they're just like that little pointy tip is in the wall.
Yeah.
The most of the pin is like completely outside of it.
I don't know like what the deal is with that, because like, okay, on the tech bridge at school, which is like an area where we pin up, those pinup boards are nice and soft.
So
they're fabric, like it's like there's cotton behind there or something. It's soft. But then you go into 405 or like one of the more formal pinup rooms, and those things are just,
it's
I don't
like
know,
the
wood.
Densest, like maybe actually, it feels like they're wood, like wrapped in fabric. That is just like something I've really learned to love, is when I find a good pinup board.
Oh yeah.
When we don't have to jump and put all of our momentum into putting that pin.
That's what I feel like.
I don't have that kind of muscle to do that. Okay. Last but not least, this is funny. When people clap for some people after presenting and not for others. This is exactly what happened today in my pinup group. The first like 5 people got a nice little round of applause afterwards, and then the applause started dwindling, and the last 5 people didn't get any applause. And I'm like, if you start applauding for some, you have to clap for everyone.
You have to clap for everyone. Sounds like you're bitter, but did you get an applause?
I know.
Well,
I was the second person not to get an applause. People were getting tired, but like, I'm bitter. That's basically it.
Yeah, no, I hate that too, because it's like, what?
That happens all the time, though.
What are we saying as a group? Like, are we saying we hate these projects?
Right?
Like, what? Yeah.
Like, do they hate me?
I also hate the awkward silence after you present and people are like trying to digest the project, and you're like just standing there like,
It's the worst. My professor this year is really good at like, there's almost no pause between. I know this is the first time that's ever happened, but in the past it's like you present, you're like, and okay, I think that's about everything. Just crickets. Like crickets, and then the professor is like, huh. Okay, so can you talk about that a little bit more? And it's like, okay.
Yeah. Today I had to endure like a painful 20 seconds of silence. Yeah. But everyone did. Everyone did. Yeah, so it made me feel better, but it was like,
it's still scary.
Every project it was like, I was like, oh God, here we go.
Yep. Like, yes, I'm done actually. And that's all I did. Okay, that was a great list of something about talking about the pet peeves. It doesn't make me any happier. It just like, I'm like, ugh.
It makes
now
me
I'm
happier.
Even more annoyed. I guess I got off my chest.
Yeah, I don't feel anything actually. Nothing. Feel neither positive or negative about the pet peeves, because they're still my pet peeves, but you know, I got them off my chest.
That's a great attitude to have. That's great.
Honestly, after this pinup, nothing can hurt me. Yeah. You know, that's how I feel. After every pinup, it's like I've leveled up as a person. Yeah. Like a new level of endurance.
I've just like, everything is in perspective for me. And I just like I realize what's truly important and what's not. And a pinup that I'm not going to remember in a month, I don't need to worry so much about it.
Yeah. One last thing I'll talk about that's a pet peeve.
Okay.
I could go on forever. I spent way too much time, like when I spend way too much time in CAD or Rhino or on my computer, that I literally begin to glitch out in real life. Like I went to a concert last night and I was like so overwhelmed by like all the people, and I was like just watching the people. Like I was like, I felt like I was in a zoo, and I was like, oh my God, I'm like in the enclosure. Like I can't interact with people. I've just been like drawing lines and trimming lines for 12 hours. Like
there was this really funny part today where I'm like, are you okay? We're talking about the debate and I was like, oh, it's at 7, and you're like, and I was like, what? Do you have somewhere to be? And you're like, no. I don't know why I did that. I was like,
I don't know.
What?
It's like I have no control like over myself for a couple hours or for like 24 hours after I've been on my computer for that long.
Yeah, you should get some blue light glasses.
Yeah.
Actually, the more I wear my blue light glasses, I don't feel that like computer tired as much.
Yeah, I need to get some.
It might be. I don't think it's placebo though. I think that's actually one thing that's like real.
I feel like jury's out on that, but I think it's half placebo, half.
I'll put my hot ones are in my bag downstairs.
Oh, what are these?
These are kind of like my
not my hot ones.
like my kind of ugly
good.
ones.
They don't look bad.
I always wish that I had to wear glasses because I feel like I look good in glasses. They're cute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
all right. Thank you guys for listening to Talkitecture. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have a YouTube now. Yay! If you're watching us on YouTube, we love you. Like and subscribe and follow our Instagram, our TikTok, and keep your eye out for future episodes. All right.
Bye.
Ciao.